right. Well, welcome everybody to our team call for this week. We are just in for a treat. And I kind of say that most every call, not every call, but only when I just know for sure that this is going to be something that will give you a lot of insight and possibly be that thing that propels you forward in your business. I will tell you guys that I just got back from Beachbody's leadership retreat. And one of the talks that really stood out to me there was given by Doug Moss. He's one of the corporate leaders. And he has been someone who works with all of the top coaches. So if you are a 15-star diamond coach, he is the one that you are talking to. It doesn't matter what region you are in. So he really has gotten to know, I feel like, just really the best of the best, right? And he put together a list of 8 characteristics that he notices all of the top performing coaches have. And one of the characteristics that he shared is that these top coaches are constantly looking for that 1 degree thing that they can change in their business. Just that like fine-tuning element that they're looking for in training, whether it's national wake-up calls or team calls or tuning into calls in the Beachbody Champion page. He's like, they're the ones who show up for those masterminds. They're the ones who show up because they're constantly aware that there's just that 1 degree difference, that if they're constantly fine tuning in that 1 degree amount, that they will continue moving forward. And I just thought that that was a really great thing to always be aware of. And so I think you guys showing up on this call or listening to the recording, I know we get a good majority that listen to the recording, but I just applaud you for being here and looking for that little 1 degree change, because it will make a difference in your business. So tonight we have 2 team leaders who are going to be on that I'll be doing like an interview style with them. So we have Lauren Burzynski and Kimberly Reyes, and they are both coaches that have achieved team leader on the Road to Elite track. And they did so, both of them did so by July in this year. So they're both really doing well and leading coaches to success, leading strong teams. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this party started. We'll see if there's a lot of background noise, if it works to have all of us unmuted at the same time. Otherwise, I'll mute one of us or whatever. Lauren, let's have you go ahead and start though, and just share a little bit of your story and how you got started in this business.
All right. I started, it was 4 years ago in September. So it's been 4 years, but I can't really honestly say that I've been working the business that long. So when my coach reached out to me, she did she actually did like a group message with a bunch of us and was like, hey, I know you guys are all into fitness. I really think you would do really well with this business. And I was like, what? And so I just ignored it. And then later she came back and just messaged me personally and was like, hey, I know I sent you that group message, but I really think, you've always been really fit and you've always really loved health, and you just had a baby. And so I know things get different after that, which they totally do. And so I was like, yeah, I would love, to like look into it. And I was really resistant. Like I was like all about looking into it, but I wasn't going to actually sign up. You know what I mean? But I was like intrigued about what she was talking about. So I looked into it and I was like, okay, after like 3 weeks of like me and my husband trying to pick it apart and figure out what was wrong with this business, I decided to do it. But I never really thought like that I don't know. She told me about I remember her even saying like, Brigida earns this much money and this is amazing and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I saw that for other people. I saw that potential for other people, but I didn't really see it for me. So I just kind of did it. Like I showed my workouts, like I showed up, I posted a selfie here and there. I also found out 3 weeks later that I was pregnant. So I got sick again. So that was another hurdle that I had to like overcome. And I was just clueless, and I wasn't plugged into like very good trainings, honestly. Like I was just clueless. So I went for like 2 years in this business doing almost nothing. Like, I mean, thinking I was doing something. Like I thought I was working at like a business until I was in one of Lindsay Matway's trainings where they went through and showed us what this business was. And I was like, oh, I had no clue. Like inviting, I didn't even invite. I would hit Success Club here and there, but I didn't invite. It was just like luck of posting and people seeing it and coming to me every once in a while. I didn't even invite. And so then all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay. And so about 6 months went by, and sorry, it says my connection's unstable. So I'm sorry if things get wacky. But anyways, about 6 months went by after that training. And I remember like just sitting down at the kitchen table and with Josh, and I was like, just please watch the children for like 30 minutes so I can like figure out email and like figure out, like I would just, you know, like when he would get home, like I would sit down and like I would have a little bit of time to work. And then I remember at Summit, seeing all these people, just seeing tons and tons of other coaches and girls wearing those tags that said Success Club Legend or whatever, and looking at them and going, I am not any different than them at all. I am no different than them. They are not better than me. I just really did. I had written myself off thinking, no, I'm not going to be one of those Beachbody coaches. I'm just one of these Beachbody coaches. And then I just really started looking and going like, I mean, you hear that story all the time. Why not me? And I was like, I'm going to hit Success Club from now on, forever. Even if I have to like beg someone to buy a challenge pack and give them my commission, I'm going to hit Success Club. That's what I'm going to do. And it was a decision I made. It wasn't a luck of the draw thing. It was like, I'm deciding to hit Success Club. And so from there, it's just been a series of deciding to do this and then deciding to do that. And that's really, honestly, my entire journey and figuring things out. You know, you have to go figure it out yourself.
So what is interesting with you though, too, is that first time you went to Summit, so that was 2 years ago, right? So your sponsor at that point had already kind of taken a step back too, right? So why did you go to Summit?
So actually, I think I've been to 3 summits.
Okay.
I went to the first one, and I, for the life of me, don't know how I pulled that off, because my second son was only 6 weeks old, and my first son wasn't even 2 yet. But somehow I pulled it off, and that's when I saw the vision. But that was still when I was thinking, that's fine for them, but I'm nursing and I have a like 18-month-old at home, so like that's just not for me. But it was that next summit where I was going, okay, this is silly. Like I'm either wasting my time or I'm gonna do the thing.
Yeah, that is so interesting. I don't think I knew that all, so thank you. Kimberly, let's hear your story, if you don't mind, and how you got started.
I miss you already. We had so
I
much
know,
fun.
you need to come back. You still have a tan, though. Well, you always are tan.
I signed up for Beachbody in March of 2016, so I'm at like the 3.5-year point. And I was in a 21-day fix group with my coach, and she reached out to me and said, you know, I think you would do great at coaching. You're so into fitness and you're a nurse practitioner, and this would just go hand in hand. And I, of course, said, absolutely not. It's not happening. I'm too busy. I have a real job. I make money. Like, I don't need something like this. I'm happy to, you know, just send you my referrals. So anyways, but I was like really active in the challenge groups. I loved her challenge groups. But I just kept sending her referrals. She had my mom, she had like my mother-in-law, she had all my best friends, like everybody, like, here, go take, you know, and then like that went on for like 6 months. And I was drinking Shakeology and I loved it. And I was at the gym and people were like, oh, you look so good. What are you doing? And then once they started asking and I started talking about Shakeology, then I was like, well, maybe I should get this link so that I can start helping people too, you know, and helping them feel good like I feel. So then I called her and I was like, hey, you know, I think I might be ready. And she's like, ready for what? And I said, oh, I think I want to be a coach. And she said, well, I haven't had anyone sign up as a coach in a really long time. So let me see if I can help you figure it out and let's do it. So anyways, so I signed up, and then from that point forward, we did like one group together, and then she kind of stopped. And so I just started doing challenge groups. I did 21-day fixed challenge groups for like the first 18 months of my business. Every single month I decided to do a clean eating group, like a 5-day clean eating group. And then I would do a 21-day fixed challenge group. And I was still going to the gym and drinking my shakes, and I was hitting Success Club every month. So I hit the first 3. So I was a success starter. So I won that summit trip. So yeah, so then I went to Summit with my husband, and I feel like that was like eye-opening for both of us. Like, oh, what are we doing here? You know, I was pretty much not easily hitting Success Club, but I kept running groups every month. So, you know, I would have at least 3 people sign up. But once I went to Summit, I was like, oh, okay. And my husband too said, all right, I think that this is for you. So I was kind of like a different coach. And I guess I'll get into that when you ask me, like, what were some of your like struggles in the beginning? I felt like I was very different than everyone because I was running nutrition groups rather than workout groups, because I was not doing Beachbody workouts. I would never work out from home. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that. In my mind, I was like, how are these people working out from home? But the thing was when I was signing up some people with Shakeology or Challenge Packs, some of them would end up signing up for Beachbody on Demand. And so I would watch them and I'm like, gosh, they really like it. Well, that's good. I'm happy that they're happy, but I'm still going to the gym. And then 80-Day Obsession came out, and that's when like everything changed. That was my first like real, I think I did a week of hard labor, kind of like I did like a 5-day group with that. But then when 80-Day Obsession came, then I really was like, all right, I'm going to do a program. And then I fell in love with working out at home. And now like, I mean, I've done like program after program, you know, with 80-Day Obsession. So that definitely changed things for me. But, yeah, so that's kind of my story. And then with 80-Day Obsession, you know, I had been doing the gym for so long. I had my best results ever, like with the Shakeology, with the nutrition plan, adding an 80-Day Obsession. And then I decided that I wanted to sign up for the Beachbody Physique competition too. So I like tracked my results the entire time. I had an album on Facebook. I posted in it every day. We were on date. Jose did it with me too, my husband. And we were just killing that program. And then when I got to the physique show, it was like I went from here at the gym, just drinking my Shakeology, to doing everything Beachbody. And then that's when I felt like my coaching career like really took off. So yeah, that's kind of my story.
Well, and you kind of got into it a little bit, and I'll just kind of stick with you before we switch back to Lauren, but talk about kind of some of the struggles that you had to overcome in this business that were hurdles for you and how you moved past it.
So I think my first struggle was that my coach kind of went inactive pretty quickly. And so you kind of just have to figure, it was a struggle, but then I feel like it's what's made me grow so fast. And that I didn't have anyone to hold my hand. Like months later, Missy reached out to me and was like, hey, you know, can I help you? And I was like, oh, hi, who are you? You know? So I did a lot of YouTubing. Jose and I would go on YouTube every night and just Google how to make money as a Beachbody coach. What's a Diamond coach? How to go to Diamond in 3 weeks or a month, or where to place your coaches. What's a right leg? What's a, strong leg, weak leg, like, all of this stuff I did through Google and YouTube, not like any sort of, formal training. And so that was definitely a struggle for me in the beginning. But it makes you learn because you don't have anyone to be constantly messaging like, hey, I don't understand this, or hey, because you actually have to find the answers yourself. And all of the answers are there, just like Rachel Hollis says, if you go on Google, it's like an encyclopedia and everything is there for Beachbody. So that was like one of my struggles. And then also comparing myself to other coaches was a struggle for me because I felt like I was so different because I would look at other coaches and I would see them doing the programs and the workouts. And at that point I wasn't doing that. And I was kind of doing it my way. And I was like, gosh, is this for me? Is it not for me? So I ended up like not following some people. I had been following some coaches. And watching them frustrated me because I was like, well, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to make it work my way. And by going to the gym and running nutrition groups. And this was before Ultimate Portion Fix or 2B Mindset came out. We like literally had nothing. I was just going off 21 Day Fix containers and having people order Shakeology. And so I just, decided that I was going to make it work the way that I wanted to do it, the way that I felt like it was fun too. And the way that I enjoyed, because that kind of kept me going on a daily basis. And I stopped comparing myself, because you can't compare. Everybody's different, and you can run this business however you want,
What I love with your story is how you're like, well, I don't want to do it this way. So instead of being like, I'm just not going to do it, you're like, this is a way that it would be fun for me and that feels authentic for me,
Right.
There's a lot of people I've met who are like, well, I don't like Energize, so I can't be a coach. Or, I don't like this particular program. I've heard people talk about maybe this 6 weeks of the work and they don't swear. And so they're like, I can't, what's going on with Beachbody? I don't like this one program. And it's like, then don't do it, So I really like that you made this your thing. And I do think you have a really unique story where you weren't doing these programs, but still hitting Success Club. So yeah, that's really, really powerful. Lauren, I'm going to switch over to you here and have you share some of the struggles you overcame and what kind of things were holding you back initially.
Yeah, so mine was the same. I signed up, and then my coach, she actually kept doing it for a while. But once again, like there was no training behind any of it. Like I felt like, she would say like, oh, I'm doing a free group. And I'd be like, what? Okay, what is that? What do we do with free group? Like I just had no clue. And so then she ended up going inactive. And then she quit. She actually buys Shakeology from me now, which is the funniest thing in the world. But she quit. And then her upline is actually still active because she's still getting residual income. But she does nothing with the business, and actually tried to come back, but was so clueless that it like scared her, and she's not doing it again. And then there's Danielle Ray and Amber and Brigida. So finally I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go with Brigida. Like I'm just going to, everything she says, I'm going to do exactly what she says, and show up for all the trainings and show up for all the things. And then yes, Kim, Google, like that's all I did. I got on Google, I got on the back office, I looked at all the videos that we had, like any video that came out, I was like a sponge. My kids would go to bed, I'd be up till midnight watching like 3 or 4 videos. And it's not like, I don't want to tell you that you have to sit there and watch 4 hours of videos every day, but like I had to just like, I was getting it from nowhere else. I wasn't getting like taken through groups with a mentor or anything like that. So I really did feel like I just had to like listen. And also, I don't like Kim said, every coach is so different. One coach would say something, I'd be like, no, that's not really how I want to do things. And so I would go to a different coach and kind of just piece together the way I wanted to do this business based on what other coaches were doing that were working. So that was a struggle, but I think it's a struggle I needed, because I think if I just had one coach bringing me through it, it wouldn't have worked. But it's definitely and another struggle I really, if there's one thing you need to do for yourself as a coach, it is go from the mindset of I'm this kind of Beachbody coach, because we all for some reason start off that way somehow, versus no, I can be any kind of Beachbody coach, like any level of success Beachbody coach I want to be, as long as I make that decision. So that was like another, like it really was like, looking back, I can see like the whole like process of me going from I'm a follower to no, here's what a leader does.
I really love that. And I didn't really think through.
And I think John Maxwell had the biggest.
Sorry, you're kind of breaking up, or maybe I'm breaking up, but everyone else, Tamara Cox, I can see your little profile. Can you like hear us? Everything's good? Things are kind of a little shaky. I didn't really think through the fact that both of you have that similarity of that common trend of, not a very strong upline, like sponsoring coach. But I have had Yeah, I mean, you just always get the coaches on the team or in the downline who will message and they're frustrated about that. And I think this business is a really unique opportunity for us to be leaders, not to be frustrated that we don't have a strong leader, and many times I think when there is a really strong leader, then you shy away from being the leader, because you're like, oh, they're taking charge, so I think it is a really good opportunity for sure. Okay, I want to have both of you guys kind of share like what your day-to-day life looks like, because I know Kimberly is working a job. I know Lauren's at home with young kids. And so kind of share like what your day-to-day looks like and how you're fitting Beachbody in your life, like what kind of your power hour work looks like and what you're kind of doing every day, that kind of stuff. We'll start with you, Lauren.
Oh, okay. If my internet cuts out, I'm going to try to get on a different internet provider. So I may pop off for a second. Y'all keep going. I'll be back. But I struggle with this, but it looks a little bit different every single day. It works best when I wake up early and get my workout in and do a few things like, clear out my inbox and all that before my kids get up so that when they get up, I can go, yay, instead of, you know what I mean? Just like feeling that, like being free for them instead of stressed out because now how am I going to get this done while they're awake? So for a good majority of my day, like I really do just spend with them and like cleaning and then helping me clean, doing the mom things. But then there comes a time after lunch where I say, now you guys go play, you go upstairs, you go to your room, you get your Legos out, whatever it is, mommy has to work. And one thing that has really served me and my family is me not making this like a secret side hustle that I do, but actually like talking them through it and saying like, no, this is like time that I have to have. If I don't have it, but the business doesn't grow, the women that I'm working with don't get helped. And the coaches that I lead don't get their help either. And I actually talked it, which this came from Brigida too, but I talked it through with my 4-year-old when he was able to start understanding. I was like, hey, Mom, you have to go play. Mommy has to work. Mommy gets to work from home. If I didn't or do this job, I'd be gone all day long, 5 days a week, and you wouldn't get to see mommy. So mommy gets to do it from home. So I explained that. And then I also told him about Success Club. And I was like, hey, if I help 5 people and I hit Success Club 10, we'll do whatever you want to do within reason. And he always picks Cracker Barrel. So every time I hit Success Club 10, family gets in the car and we go to Cracker Barrel the next day. And it's just a really fun way for them to feel like they're part of the business and that they're working it with me, because like them playing is helping me work the business and they see it that way instead of, no, sorry, mommy can't help you. Mommy can't help you. And it becoming this weird, awkward, like wedge between us. It's this like, hey, you get to go play now. Mommy gets to work. And I also am huge on that because I grew up watching my mom work. And so I saw that work ethic from a very young age. And I really want to instill that in my kids. So I really feel like I have to make work part of their life so that they can see it that way. Otherwise, it does. Like, I think that's why a lot of moms quit, because they're like, I can't do this. I have kids and I don't want to take away from time from them. And I'm like, you're with them 24/7. They need some time from you, first of all. So like everybody needs time away from each other. And this is something that's good that you're modeling for them. You're also teaching them time management. Like there's just so many good things that this business not only does for our family financially and health-wise, but also just like skills, like life skills. So I really look at it as like a full family thing. So that helps us a lot.
I really love that. And, I started with my kids being young, right? I mean, my oldest was in kindergarten when I started, and my youngest was not even a year old. And so now I've got 2 teenagers. Now I've been doing this for 7 years. And what's been really cool to see is that now that my kids are older, the level of understanding that they have is on a whole nother level of what I do. But I will tell you, like, I'm not going to get emotional about this, but we have like the coolest pep talks and talks about goals and working hard for things. Cause now they're like working towards different sport teams that they want to be on, or my daughter had to really work hard to pull up her grades. And it was really cool to let them kind of see the example of how hard I've worked in Beachbody, and to even share things with my daughter of how, nobody thought I would be able to see success in this, and nobody, even my family, wasn't really rooting for me, and this is what I did to overcome it. And that really helped her when she felt like people weren't supporting her, like her friends weren't supporting her when she was working towards this soccer team, and they didn't understand why it was important to her. And so I just feel that there's so many things that we're doing in this business that help us be better parents for our children, and especially as they get older and they can understand it on a different level. But I do think, as Lauren's proving, that when they're little, they're much more patient and they do understand it. But it's just cool. I can see that. But then also, as they get older, like, I'm just so grateful I've done this and for the example it's set for my kids. But Kimberly, I think you have a really unique just story in doing this, that you've had this career that you love, that, it's not like you're trying to work Beachbody to get out of this career, right? Which I think is a story you do hear a lot in Beachbody. And so tell us about what your day-to-day life looks like, because you are busy.
Yeah, I've been really busy. So I came home from Phoenix. We had Scottsdale. We had this amazing trip with Regina, landed at Thursday night, and I'm like, my time zone is 3 hours different, whatever. But Friday morning, I went back to work. So, and, we worked Beachbody sort of, while we were in Scottsdale, but like, I felt like, oh my God, now I want to be, I was all fired up, but then I'm like, oh, but now I have to go to work. So anyways, so I work, I'm gone from the house at least 11 to 12 hours a day. So on the days that I work, so basically I get up by 5 and I have my Energize, and I go through all my messages while I'm letting my Energize, kick in. And like, that's kind of like my power hour time. I pre-schedule my posts because I have multiple groups going. So that gets done on a day when I'm not working. I'm not like doing in my groups anyways, not like a daily Instagram or Facebook post, but anything in my groups is scheduled probably 2 to 3 weeks before. Cause I just don't even want to I just want to know that it's going to go up in the morning. So at least if I don't get anything else up, my posts are always going up no matter what, even if I'm on vacation. So I have my Energize, and then now Jose's been working out with me. We're doing the work. So we get up, we do our workout. And then after the workout, if it's a work day, like sometimes I'll go fancy on my videos, but I've noticed now, like I'm busy, so I'll do, I always show before I usually go like live on Instagram or do a story like, oh, we're on week, whatever, day 3 today. We're doing the work and kind of talk about it. And then afterwards I'll do a move of the day. Cause that's easy. Like 1 15-second video clip. And I'll post that to make it known that, yes, I did my workout. Here's the move of the day. And because sometimes, if I have time, I'll make a cool video, but like, I don't think it's going to make it's not going to make or break the deal, whether I've got like a video that I've spent 20 minutes working on, or like something that takes me 2 minutes and I just put it up and that's it, So then, obviously I have to go to work. So I do like power pockets during the day, and I'll usually take like a 15-minute break in the morning, respond to any messages, try to throw up like a Facebook, Instagram post. Usually I try to like think of something the night before, like have an idea as to what I'm going to be posting. Transformation Tuesday, Wednesday Wisdom, something. Usually too, when I'm working, I try to do some sort of like nurse practitioner health post on one of the days. Like before I'm running out the door, I've got my jacket on. Jose, take a quick picture of me with my shake in my hand, or even if I don't, and then I'll post a healthy tip of the day from your nurse practitioner or something. So I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So today was my first day that I had off since we went to Scottsdale. And so during my lunch break, I work Beachbody. So, I mean, I'm eating my lunch while I'm doing it, but I enjoy doing it. So it's okay for me. And then when I come home, I take that time to, you know, hang out with the kids and put them to bed. And then usually, you know, after they go to bed, I'll take another half an hour and like follow up on stuff. But my thing is that when on the days that I work, I'm not expecting to really do sales. It's kind of like bare minimum, sort of just sliding by. And then on my days off, I'm like, okay, this is when I like really invite and I message and I follow up like big time. And this on my days off, this is when I'm going to hit Success Club. Because I've been doing Success Club since I started, and now I'm on a roll for SC10. I've actually hit like SC20 like for the past, I don't know, probably 10 months. So like it's my days off that I really hustle, and then on my work days I just do so that people still know I'm coaching and I'm having my shake. I'll take a picture of it or Energizer or something, or a healthy meal, whatever I'm eating at lunch, I'll do that too. And then on my days off, you know, we still, no matter what, I'm up at 5. I'm always an early morning workout person, especially with my husband working out with me. He has to go to work. And then I'll do, you know, like I said, more invites today. So also on my stretches of days off, I know I'm like jumping all over the place, but like today was my first day off, and I decided, I usually try to do like some sort of project. So today's project was a coach sneak peek on Instagram, because I've never done that before. And I wanted to, and it was kind of something lengthy. I was working on it probably for 3 hours. So yes, that's a lot of time, but it's something that I feel like when I have someone, I've been like wanting to do it for a long time, because when I have people on Instagram and they want to know more about coaching, now I can just be like, here's my coach sneak peek page, take a look. And I have that for like months to come. So, you know, that was like my project for this week. So I got that like done today, and I'm kind of proud of it. I think it looks good.
That's awesome. So I am curious. I know that you've seen a lot of coaches who have maybe started with you and not like grown their business in the same way, or maybe you have coaches on your team, or maybe just coaches that are, you know, sister coaches on the bigger team. And what do you think you are doing differently than other people, like that is bringing you to Success Club 20, or, you know, all of this? Like, what do you feel is making the biggest difference for you compared to other people?
I think like I do proof that the product works really well. Like I share transformation pictures really well. And I think that people trust me from over the years of being really consistent. Like I've done challenge groups every single month for 4 years, almost 4 years. And so that, I think having the medical background, you know, it gives me a little bit of a trust factor too. And then I did, you know, the physique competition 2 years in a row already. So people saw huge transformations with that. And people just like following the journey along with that too. And I used Ultimate Portion Fix, like carb cycling this time around. So I talked about that a lot, and people are always interested in that, and time nutrition. And then I always try to find something to gravitate towards different types of people. So like I decided one day that I was going to push myself and train for a marathon. And then once I did the 2 marathons, I started to get a lot more runners coming to me. And then I hurt my foot and I couldn't really run as much. So the doctor told me I needed to swim, but I didn't know how to swim. So I got a coach and I learned how to swim. And I decided I was going to start doing triathlons. And so once I started doing triathlons, then I started getting like the triathlon population sending me messages, because I would start using hashtags like swim, bike, run, triathletes of Instagram, stuff like that on my posts. And I was in like Facebook groups with triathletes too. So they started coming to me because they trust me and they understand that I'm, you know, doing at-home workout programs and I'm training for other things at the same time. So, and then but this year I did an Ironman. It was a half Ironman, but it was a big deal. So again, and it's like I'm sharing, because it's different than what other Beachbody coaches do. They kind of are like, oh, she's, you know, doing something differently, and they just find it interesting. So they tend to follow my story. I do story a lot. I do a lot of videos. So I think people feel comfortable talking with me too and reaching out to me. So, and consistency is really, really about consistency. I have always shown up for the business, but I don't know. I'm consistent with my real job too. I've been there 13 years. I don't like give up on things. My husband and I have been together almost 20 years. I'm kind of just like that. Like,
no, that's like really, so if you guys missed, I'm just going to summarize this. 4 key things that, because I think this is really actually a really good point and something that can be just easily dismissed. But before and after photos are huge, right? And
yeah,
like that was a big thing that I was reminded of at the Beachbody Leadership Retreat, is that I need to be sharing those every single day. And I mean, really, it kind of came to me a lot because I was like starting to use this Beachbody tracker more. And it's right on there, recognizing the achievement of getting people results, you know? And I do feel that that's something I did really well at the beginning. And that's something I think I've not done very well. You know, I've focused more on like, be your own brand. And so I share my journey, but I don't share other people's before and after photos very well. So even if it's just in the stories, like if you don't want it on your page, that's kind of how I've been in my mind being like, hey, moving forward, that's what I'm going to do. But you do that really well. So before and after photos, a really key point of consistency builds trust. I'm like, that is so true. Even if it's just showing up every day, you know, that's that consistency. Having other interest outside of Beachbody and talking about that. Like that's how I see that when it comes to your triathlons, your running, and even being a nurse practitioner, like sharing your other interests to find and connect with new people. You know,
right.
I think it's so key that we're not Beachbody robots, you know, that
Yes.
you talk about other things, you have other interests, because that does help you connect and find other new people. And going all in on a program and sharing that journey, like as if you were in a test group. You know, I've heard a lot of people who will say how being in a Beachbody test group really grew their business. But then I always think like, there's nothing special about being in a Beachbody challenge or test group. You know, treat it as if you were in a test group. And I think, Kimberly, you're a great example of that. Like you've never been in a Beachbody corporate test group of a program before the program was released, but you do document things and share them and make an album of like that journey. And you did that really well. Go all in on a program. So you've got, I mean, you don't have any weight to lose, and yet you're like shredded to more shredded. You know, like you're
we go through seasons like, too, you know,
but you show like this is legit, you know? So going all in, I think that is really key. Those are like, that's a team call just right there. So really great, Kimberly. Okay, Lauren, let's come over to you. And I'm going to ask you, I mean, really just the same question for you. What do you think has made the biggest difference for you to be growing such a solid business? And, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Like, cause you're the same, like you're always at the top of the Success Club leaderboard, and, you know, just someone who's always like, you know, many months that top recruiter. And so what's making the difference for you in the success that you're seeing?
I have to echo consistency. Like that's the superpower. Like I'm sure that was on Doug Moss's list.
It
was just someone who's just, yeah, like you just show up. Like you don't work out and make a post about how you work out and then disappear for 6 days and then come back and then make another post and then 8 days later, you just can't do that, because I wouldn't trust that person as far as I could throw them. And so like, why, like, and honestly, I'm sitting here kind of going, like, if you're that person, like, do you trust yourself even? And so to stick with something, like, I don't know. So it's all about consistency. Like I don't blame people for not trusting me if I don't show up for something. I mean, it's like anything in life. You have to show up all the time to be trusted. But anyways, there's that. And then another thing is just, I think it's that degree thing that you're talking about, where you just go, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it. Like, there's a lot of things in this business that I do that I don't feel like doing. And it's not because like, you know, I'm a slave to the business, but that's called hard work. And so like, even like a lot of times I'll literally be laying in bed and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to finish sending those messages. I need to finish sending those messages. There's one box on my Success Club tracker that I haven't checked off today. And that's part of my business. And that's part of what I'm supposed to be doing to get paid. So if I don't do it, I can't expect to be paid, even if it's one box. And so I really think it's looking and not being legalistic and making it torture, but like literally looking at that list, making it as fun as you want to make it, and then just doing it. Like I'm so all about hard work, and I'm so all about like, you know, if I'm not going to do the work, why would I expect to get paid like I am? Like that's not how the world works. And so it really is just about, I think just echoing that as well, like consistency, and then just turning it up. Like sometimes the difference between me getting, like, for example, I'll give a really good example. There was a girl that I was talking to on Instagram, and she blatantly told me that she was trying to decide between me and another coach on whose team to join. And I was like, okay, I'm going to respect that other coach. But at the same time, she basically told me like, what do you got? You know what I mean? And so like she was putting the ball in my court. Like, I kind of want to be with you, but I kind of want to be with her. So tell me why I should go with you. And so I just gave it to her, and I did it, and I just kept following up. And like old Lauren would have just said, well, you know, if it happens, it happens. That's not true. Like, that's not true. Nothing's just going to happen. This, like, when you look at like Lindsay Matway and Brigida and all these coaches that are like, you know, set and stable, and they didn't get there by letting luck happen. Like, they followed up, they went to those people, and I think too, that shows those people that you care. It's not bugging them. It shows them that you care, and it shows them that like you're willing to lead them even when it's hard, and even when they're making it hard on you, if that makes sense. So not begging, not in a begging way, but just in a like, I'm here, like, you ready kind of way. So I think, yeah, just always being willing to take that extra step. Like there was even the other day on Facebook, the classic post where someone was like, I need to lose weight. What should I do? And she has like a barrage of people telling her to go keto, and a barrage of people. And the big part of me says like, I just want to ignore this. I want to ignore this message, but that's literally my job. So I went to her inbox and I was like, hey girl, which I need to follow up with her. That's part on my list tonight. But I was like, hey, what is it that, you know, like you need or whatever. And like, I didn't feel like doing that, but it's just something that we do. Like, you just learn to like follow through with the work that you know that you need to do in order to get there. No, not fun answers, but there's my answers.
No, I really love that. And one of the things that you're saying and you doing that follow-ups, like it shows people that you're the kind of coach that they can trust, because you're going to be consistent. You know, I think many times people feel like, oh, I'm nervous to follow up. You're like, I don't want to bug them. I don't want to annoy them. But the reality is, when you follow up, you show them that you care. You show them that you really were sincerely thinking of them, that you want them on your team, you want them in your challenge group. It wasn't like a mass invite that just went out to a bunch of people and you were just throwing spaghetti at the wall, you know, like, but the follow-up shows that you really care, and that you're consistent. So I think that that's a really key element. Last question for you both, and then we will wrap this up, but I want to know what your vision is, like what your goal is in this business, what you want this to be overall. Why do you work so hard? Why are you so consistent? Lauren, we'll do you first.
It changes all the time. It really does. But initially, like, I would have to say, like, when I first signed up, it was because student loan payments were starting in 3 months. And so I was like, I have to make those payments. We don't have that now. And if we don't have it, if I don't do something, we won't have it then. And, but I was not going back to teaching. I hated it with my whole heart. And I had a sweet little 10-month-old, and I was pregnant, and I was like, I'm not doing it. And so that was like step one to getting me to get up off my butt. And then the next one was honestly, and I try not to get tripped up either, but proving to myself that I could do something. Because I had honestly, I had this moment as a mom where I thought, this is who I am now. Like, I just am a mom and I have no purpose beyond changing a diaper. And I am just here for these four walls in my home. And, I don't know, it was just like this really empty feeling. You know, I'm a believer, and I was a believer then. And I knew that, you know, there was more to life, obviously, like spiritually, but I still believe I'm here for a purpose now. I'm not just here to go to heaven someday. Like, I'm here now for a reason, and he has a purpose for me now. And I felt like it was just more than just like, I felt like I was going to be a better mom if I still had a purpose outside of just being a mom, because that's something you'll see me saying on Instagram all the time. I was Lauren before I was a mom, and I was Lauren before I was a wife. And I was Lauren, you know, like, I've always been Lauren, who is she? And so I'd lost her. And so my next my next vision was honestly just doing something for me, like having something for me that I was doing for other people and making the world better than I left it. So that was the next thing. And now it's like I am doing the Dave Ramsey thing, and I love the idea of helping other women get wealthy. Like, I love that idea. And so if I get wealthy in the process, which is kind of how this business works, that's great. But now my posts are like kind of geared to like, hey, do you need money? Like, not in like a spammy weird way, but just like if you're struggling with finances, I see you, like I did too. And I still do, you know, and like just really trying to build connection with women based on that, because now my vision is like, I want to see, like, I'm going to say Alexis on my team. I want to see Alexis pay this off. I want to see Alexis stay home if that's what she wants to do with her. Like, I just can't think of anything more exciting and fulfilling. So that is where my vision is now. And I honestly don't have like a money, like an income goal, because I don't know honestly what that would be for me. But to see girls hit their goals would be a huge vision of mine. And obviously elite, like I'm gonna lay that out there. I really, someday I will be an elite coach. Our team will be elite. So that's a vision too.
You know, it's really interesting for you to point out how the vision changes. And I think that's been a really like, that's a big success clue right there. They say like success leaves clues. And I think that's a big clue that you have been willing to have like a new vision, you know, and being like, oh, instead of it fulfilled its purpose, I'm done, time for something different, or, you know, guess is now not for me. But to be like, okay, now what's my vision? You know, what's my new goal? And have that change. So that's really beautiful and powerful. Thank you. Kimberly, what about you? Let me unmute you. There you go.
I would definitely say my vision has changed too. Like, when I first signed up, I was like, oh, you know, my husband, the gym that I was going to, it's insane. So I'll tell you guys, it's $169 a month to go to the gym that I was going to. And so my husband was like, well, if you're going to do Beachbody, then you have to have this like Lululemon habit that you have like kind of covered. And you got to cover your crazy gym membership, because he thought that was insane. And now that I look back, it wasn't insane. And the Shakeology. So that was like my goal at the time. And then like once I hit that, I started, you know, having like other goals where all I could think about was this like new kitchen, and it wasn't going to happen unless like there was no way I could pick up extra shifts. Like, I work part-time as a nurse practitioner, and my husband's busy, and we need me home for the kids and stuff like that. And I was like, I really, really feel like I deserve a kitchen. And so I had it on my vision board and this and that. And so this summer we like knocked down our kitchen and tore down the walls. And like, I have this amazing, huge kitchen with an island, and it's like, it's a dream come true. And so I don't know, like when I got that, I'm like, okay, now what? You know, because that was like always like the big thing that I was always, you know, along with like helping everyone and helping my coaches, but for myself, I was like, all right, well, now we have this like awesome income, and I have my kitchen, and now what? But like, I had also had a vision of elite, of course, and then I don't know, it came to the end of the year, and I just was like, there's no way. And then we went on this retreat, And I was in the airport leaving, hysterical crying, saying, I can't give up on this goal. This has been my goal from, this year after Summit last year. I like took a picture of the elite sign. I was like, I really, feel like I want to be a leader. And I can kind of relate to Lauren, how like you don't know that you're a leader and you kind of like have to like work into this position unless you've worked in management for a long time and you've been hired as someone as like a district manager or something. I don't know. But I never was. So I never felt like a leader. So now all of a sudden it's like, if I don't step up, nobody's stepping up. Like you have to be the leader. And anyway, so I've been talking to my team about, my goals, and we've got like a little push pod going. And yes, so my goal right now is definitely elite. And if we don't hit it this year, we're definitely going to hit it next year. So yeah. And just to be there for it, like lights a fire that I didn't feel before either. It was like I became a nurse practitioner, I got my master's degree, this and that, and then I just felt like something was missing, and Beachbody fills that like missing void from me. So I always feel like there's room to grow, and there's always new goals and new things to go after, and it just like gives me this excitement in my life that I wasn't having before. So I really enjoy that, and it keeps me going. So I don't want to give that up ever.
I really love hearing that. And I love, just hearing your different backgrounds, because I think it's so helpful for all of us to remember you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? Like how much of a worse invite can you send than a group invite, And yet who did it bring in, right? Or who did it at least pique the interest? She at least did the follow-ups and whatnot. And just all of that, like you can't be a terrible sponsor. Like if, I don't know, it's just like you're going to bless people's lives. And even if they have a great career that they love, or they're like, no, I'm really busy, I just have a newborn, like they are the perfect person for you to reach out to and invite into this business, because you have no idea like what their dreams are and what they, how this will bless our lives. But Lauren, Kimberly, thank you guys both for being on this call and for, letting me interview you both and being willing to just share what's working for you and your stories. I think it's so inspiring. And thank you everyone for being on this call. I will share the recording in our team pages, and I will chat with you guys later. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.